Now, in the last Congress, Chairwoman Green literally showed a pic in our oversight congressional hearing. So I thought I'd bring one as well. Now, this, of course, we know is President Elon Musk.
The head of Social Security just resigned after a meeting with Elon Musk and DOGE. President Donald Trump exposes Social Security checks going to vampires. I'm not kidding about that, so stay tuned for that story, guys. And the left continues to attack DOGE for doing its job. And a new Democratic leader admits that they're doing everything wrong. Now, I have a lot to share with you guys today. Appreciate y'all hitting the like button. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. So let's go ahead and kick things off with Michelle King, the acting director of the SSA.
Elon Musk has got to go!
Overnight, protests popping up in cities across the country.
Where is Congress?
Hundreds demonstrating against President Trump and Elon Musk as they push forward with changes to shrink the size of the federal government. ABC News learning the top Social Security official has stepped down after clashing with the Department of Government Efficiency over access to the sensitive personal information of millions of Americans, including financial data and employment information.
President Trump has directed Elon Musk and the DOGE team to identify fraud at the Social Security Administration.
Musk's team has also requested access to a data system at the IRS that retains Americans' personal tax information and includes their tax filings and bank statements. Democrats pushing back.
If you think there's fraud, then why did you fire all the inspector generals? Okay? If you think there's something we can do here, then let's do this the right way.
Now, at first glance, you would think that the Democratic Party was fighting for our privacy. But if you look a little bit deeper as to why they're pushing back, you'd understand what's really happening. The DOGE team is finding something very peculiar with Social Security. It seems as if benefits are now going to individuals who could be vampires. And I say that because these people are all over the age of 100.
Let's go into the real numbers. From 200 to 209 years old, 879 people. From 210 years old, I haven't met any of them. And if I did, I would bless them. I would worship the ground they walk on. 210 to 219 years, 866. From 220 years old to 229 years old, 1,039. And then you have two people. From 240 years old to 249 years old, one person. And there's one person that's 360 years old.
Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below. Democrats are well aware of these numbers. Elon Musk has been openly talking about it on X, which explains why they're asking for sensitive data. Now, I'm not sure if they realized it, but this is pretty clear that DOGE's team is set to find these people. But that's not what Democrats want, which begs the question, what are they really afraid of? Now, all of this happened under the nose of former SSA acting director Michelle King. And while reports say that she resigned, the president says that she was actually fired.
The head resigning after the DOGE investigations.
Who resigned?
The head of Social Security.
I don't know. I mean, I resigned or got fired. I think got fired. When you fire somebody, they always resign, and then they say, we resigned. But when you have numbers like that, I think really it's got fired. They have to get fired. Who would keep them? How could you have numbers like this? Now, the big thing is, how many of these people got paid? Were they getting paid? Were they getting paid? How many of them were getting paid Social Security? Because if that's the case, it's a massive fraud.
Now, I want to go back to Congressman Robert Garcia here because he doesn't like Elon Musk very much, even though the Trump administration's getting a lot of positive feedback. Now, I guess DOGE finding corruption within the federal government is a bad thing. Yeah, go figure. Listen to what Garcia had to say about the billionaire.
I want to hear why, but do you think that calling Elon Musk a dick is effective messaging for confronting what is a potentially irreversible transformation of the U.S. government?
Well, he is a dick. And I think that he's also harming the American public in an enormous way. And what I think is really important, and what the American public want, is for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight for democracy, for the future of this country, and it's important to push back on the chairperson of this committee. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene talks about having decorum, about bipartisanship. This is the person that lies more than anybody else in the entire Congress. And so if she is going to make a mockery of hearings, I want to make sure that us as Democrats are bringing that same level of energy. And of course, after those comments, we went into exactly what Elon Musk is trying to do: dismantling the Department of Labor, dismantling the Department of Education, dismantling all of our consumer protection agencies. And so it's all important, but it's also important to get the attention of the American public and call Elon Musk out for what he is, and to make people know that Marjorie Taylor Greene is not a serious legislator and she shouldn't be treated as such.
Somebody better send this clip to Pam Bondi. Now, before I even comment on the context of what he said, I want you to switch the story here. What if a Republican representative talked about an actual weapons to a bar fight? Mainstream media would be in a frenzy right now. They would say that this is just like the president calling for violence. But Garcia is a Democrat, so I guess he gets a pass. I guess nobody told him that DOGE is here to take out what the American people want removed from this government. We want to know where our tax dollars go. We want to understand how people who are aged 300 years old and above are somehow getting Social Security checks still. We need to be informed as to why billions of dollars are being spent on illegal immigrants while homeless veterans roam the streets. Democrats don't understand that they're fighting an uphill battle here. And this is exactly what former Democratic advisor Dan Torrentine talked about when he was asked about the party. Watch.
You keep hearing Democrats running against Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Is that a good strategy?
Terrible. Look, the number one thing in politics is you want to respect people, listen to them, and solve their problems. But what have we been doing the last 9 years, and certainly the last month? We talk about who and we talk about how, right? Process. Elon Musk, Donald Trump. What we're forgetting? What they're doing. Therefore, we're failing the common sense test. Rather than saying, hey, some of what they're finding, anybody in the right mind would say, we should end it. Instead, we scream about everything. And so when we find stuff that, in our opinion, probably is worthy of a discussion, the average voter says, forget it. All you do is scream no, and they're crazy.
The left is all out of options. They're now in a position where they can't defend these agencies. And at the very least, all they can do is kind of look up a few judges who can slow down DOGE. But even that's not working out for them. A federal judge recently denied an effort by Democratic state attorneys general to try and temporarily stop DOGE from moving. U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan denied the request for a restraining order because she says that there was not a clear evidence of imminent, irreparable harm to these plaintiffs. So chalk up another L for the Democratic Party here. And we're not straying that far away, since I now want to talk about the party's new DNC chair. His name's Ken Martin, and he believes that his own party has lost a lot of support that has now been redirected toward the Republican Party.
We need to get the DNC out of DC, out of the Beltway, reconnecting our message back with voters. That's job number one, right? So many parts of our coalition left us this last election cycle, right? We know that, from Latino voters to working class households to young voters to women. You can go down the list. The only two groups that we overperformed with in the last election cycle were wealthy households and college educated voters. That's a damning indictment on the Democratic Party. We got to do a better job. So that's why we're getting out there to these states this week to reconnect our message to the voters.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ralph.
And I'll check in a month to see if you're still happy that I congratulate you. But let me ask this. When you look at the fact that a lot of people complained that the Democrats were not punching back, that were not fighting, and that they were not feeling represented. When you say you're going to throw punches, which is welcomed by a lot of people that I talk to around the country, how do we throw punches that are effective without looking reckless at the same time and empower local candidates that may have to be throwing different punches?
Well, it's a great question. And let me say this. In 2016, someone said to me, you know, the Republicans are shameless and the Democrats are spineless. The first thing we need to do is we need to stand up. If we're not willing to right now resist Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and Elon Musk when the stakes are so high for the American people, how in the hell are anyone in this country going to believe that we would stand up and fight for them if they put us back in power? We have to resist. Now, we can't just live in that space of perpetual resistance. We need to very strenuously resist Donald Trump, and I'll get to that in a moment. But we also need to give people a sense of who we are as Democrats, what we believe in, and what we're fighting for.
At this point, the only thing the Democrats are fighting for would be secrecy. For the American people people to be in the dark when it comes to government expenses. So while he understands that the support is waning, he somehow lost on trying to push back on Trump's administration, because it's a fact that a majority of this country likes what the president's doing. Now, I actually covered that in a recent live stream I did, guys. Make sure you check that out because the numbers are not lying. Americans are very supportive of government transparency. Make sure you guys check that out. As always, appreciate y'all hitting the like button. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. We'll see you next time.